Welcome to Tracking the Week. On Monday, the Speaker of House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, reaffirmed the legislature's commitment to crafting policies and enacting laws that will strengthen Nigeria's petroleum sector for a more secure, efficient and resilient economy. Represented by Deputy Speaker Honorable Benjamin Kalu at the first annual Downstream Petroleum Week in Abuja, with the theme Celebrating Our Successes, Confronting Our Challenges and Finding Solutions for the Petroleum Downstream Sector, he said the forum will drive growth, transparency and sustainable practices. The Speaker said the downstream industry is witnessing a revival under President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, noting that the takeoff of the Dangote refinery marks a turning point in Nigeria's quest for energy self-sufficiency, adding that the Petroleum Industry Act 2021 further reformed governance and boosted investor confidence in the oil and gas sector. Also on Monday, the leadership of Congress of University Academics (CONUA) stated categorically that it had not declared any strike action, adding that it was not part of any ongoing strike. CONUA made this position known at a press briefing in Abuja, where it insisted that the recent misinformation has created unnecessary confusion within the academic community and students. Addressing journalists in front of the Senate building of the University of Abuja, the chairman, CONUA University of Abuja chapter, Professor Abdul Dairu Ardobuba, flanked by other executive members, urged the lecturers to continue to perform their academic and administrative duties, engage with students and attend to other professional responsibilities. He noted that CONUA remains deeply committed to academic stability, excellence and the smooth functioning of Nigeria's universities through constructive dialogue and peaceful engagement with government and all stakeholders. On Tuesday, President Bola Tinubu forwarded the name of Professor Joash Amokpitan to the Senate for approval as the chairman of Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). Tinubu's correspondence was read on the floor of plenary by President of the Senate Godswill Akpabio. Amokpitan's name was forwarded to the Senate in line with Section 154 subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Nomination was referred to the Committee of the Whole to screen and approve the chairman. President Tinubu, in another request through a different letter, sought confirmation of the Senate for appointment of Ayo Midiro as new executive chairman of the Federal Character Commission (FCC) and 28 others as federal commissioners, one of whom is Dr. Ibrahim Abdullahi from Kwara State. Also on Tuesday, Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu State finally defected from the People's Democratic Party to the ruling All Progressives Congress. Mbah announced his defection in a broadcast from Government House in Enugu after weeks of speculation. The governor defected to APC along with commissioners and elected chairpersons of the state's 17 local government areas. He added that he also defected to the APC alongside all elected councillors and at least 80% of the PDP executives in the state. Meanwhile, 3 members of House of Representatives from Kaduna State also defected from PDP to APC. Their defection letter, read by Speaker Abbas Tajuddin, cited internal crisis in the PDP as reason for leaving, saying they joined the APC to support President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and Governor Basani's development effort. On Wednesday, the Nigerian Senate took an important step towards improving care for sickle cell disorder nationwide. A bill to establish sickle cell disorder research and therapy centers across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones and the FCT successfully scaled its second reading in the Senate. The bill, titled "The Bill for an Act to Establish Sickle Cell Disorder Research and Therapy Centers to Expand Access to Specialized Sickle Cell Disorder Care, Improve Data Collection and Research, Support Education and Assistance for Patients, Families, Providers and Communities Affected by Sickle Cell Disorder and for Related Matters 2025, was sponsored by Senator Sunday Marshall Katang. Senator Katang, leading the debate on the bill, explained that it aims to expand access to specialized care, improve data collection and enhance education and support for patients and families affected by sickle cell disorder. Still on Wednesday, Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri, as well as 22 members of State of Assembly and 7 commissioners, resigned from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and moved to All Progressives Congress (APC). The governor made this known during Wednesday's Executive Council meeting at Government House Executive Chambers. According to the governor, he was resigning with the entire structure of the party in the state. On Thursday, the Nigerian Senate approved the appointment of Professor Joash Amokpitan-San as the new chairman of INEC. Professor Amokpitan was confirmed after an over 2-hour session fielding questions from lawmakers in plenary. The nominee, who is a professor of law and a senior advocate of Nigeria, said the idea of the electoral tribunal will restore confidence in the electoral process and outcome. Professor Amokpitan also informed the Senate about the likelihood of introducing a whistleblowing policy during his tenure to report irregularities in election, and how to ensure participation of voters during elections in areas affected by insecurity. He stated that under his leadership, the Commission may introduce use of drones to reach remote areas. Still on Thursday, the Nigerian Medical Association submitted its medical reports on the health status of Biafra Nation agitator Nnamdi Kanu to the Federal High Court in Abuja. At the resumption of proceedings, Justice James Omotosho confirmed the receipt of the report, which was filed on October 13, 2025 and served on all parties. The prosecution, led by Adegboyega Awomolo, reminded the court that the report followed an earlier order for an independent assessment of Kanu's health condition. Defense counsel Kanu Agabi admitted receiving the report and said it had been reviewed. Justice Omotosho, reading from the report's final paragraph, stated that Kanu's condition does not appear life-threatening, ruling that he is fit to stand trial. The judge fixed October 23, 24, 27, 28, 29 and 30 for the defendant to open and close his defense. He also granted a request by the defense to meet privately with Kanu on Wednesday, October 22 from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. without interference from the DSS. On Friday, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Barrister Festus Keyamo, reiterated the determination of the present administration to promote private sector growth and human capital development in the aviation and other sectors of the economy. Keyamo gave the assurance in Abuja at a news conference to unveil the establishment of Isaac Bellamy University of Aeronautics and Management (IBAM), describing it as a revolution in aviation training and major milestone for Nigeria and Africa. Speaking at the unveiling in Abuja, he said the university aligns with President Bola Tinubu's vision to promote private sector growth and human capital development, 2 key pillars of the administration's 5-point agenda. He added that Africa's aviation sector is projected to be one of the fastest growing globally, creating a huge demand for pilots, engineers and controllers, and that IBAM will help Nigeria prepare for this growth. Lastly, on Friday, the Federal Capital Territory Police Command announced the resumption of duty of CP Dantawaye Mila PSC as the 34th Commissioner of Police, FCT Police Command, on October 17, 2025. In a statement by the Police Public Relations Officer, SP Josephine Ade, the command stated that CP Mila takes over from CP Ajawa Adewale, who has been redeployed to another strategic assignment by IGP Kayode Egbetoko. CP Mila, a seasoned officer with over 2 decades of meritorious service, was born on October 15, 1971 in Afogo, Kajero local government area of Kaduna State to the family of late DCP Gajere Dantawaye. The command called on residents to continue to support the police in maintaining peace and security across the FCT. And that's it on Tracking the Week.